What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the SBCs that are currently available for you. I wasn't necessarily going to do another one of these for like another month, like kind of make it a monthly thing, but there is some very good players that I do not want you to miss out on, and also what to really focus on first. So straight away we've kind of, well, I did spend about 2-3 minutes putting them in order. Apparently not. So let's just run through them first. So we have got the dynamic duos. We kind of went over a couple of these prior, and most definitely now they are not within the fodder region. Because we've got so many upgrade packs, we've got a player in mind that needs to be done, and straight away that is going to be Mbappe. He is endgame beyond belief, and I must admit he's very daunting to be completed, and I've only just finished him with a lot to grind on, to be honest. 20 SBCs is not easy to get done, but he is done, and you finished with it. You've got a striker position fully done, and I must admit 4 mil was a very big task to try and do, but I would say he is #1 priority. If you are not finishing any of these just to get him done, I still think it would be worth it. But I've kind of put him there as he's a high cost. He's not going to be easy. He will require absolutely every ounce of effort to get it done. And if you don't play FIFA at least like at least a few hours a day, like you're not going to get 4 million coins of SBC, or at least not spend any coins on him if you don't literally put every ounce of hour into the game. So I can appreciate that. He's not easy to get done. He will take the full month if you are not grinding the game out absolutely every single day like me. Oh. But in terms of everybody else then, because we've still got some very good players, I wanted to get him out of the way as he's #1 priority for anybody that thinks they could get him done. The one thing is, if you are starting him, make sure that you are going to finish him, because if you get halfway through and think, okay, now this is too much, it would be a waste where you could finish literally quite a few of these with the cost of that. So that's out the way. Then we have some of the live cards. So we have got a fair few of them that we'll kind of go through, because again, with these sort of cards, I do like the fact that they are upgradable depending on how well they do. And most definitely a few of them will get either at least some points towards their thing today when we do have the FC Open Match Day 1. We will get some of the points, so hopefully some of the pros are linked with them. I actually don't know who's linked with who, to be honest, but again, it's not on the screen, it's not on the menus, or at least I haven't come across it naturally. But we have got Lozano ended in 5 hours, so whenever you've watched this video, if you watched it from the release or a couple of hours later, you've only got a handful of hours left to get him done. He will finish at 6 PM on the Monday. I think he's a relatively decent one. Again, I can't speculate with who's actually going to be upgraded, because I don't know the pros. I don't know if they're going to win. And to be honest, we've seen the biggest of pros have an absolute mare on day 1, day 2, and they just don't get the full upgrade from it. But in terms of them, I think Lozano's worth looking at just purely on the 87. If he was to get upgraded, even better. I'd say Lodi is as well. For the rest, it's a hard one. I need kind of like another category, actually, because they're not like a complete just no, because if they do get upgraded, then they are worth the fodder. But in terms of the actual now, so if we look at, if I saw these 84 and 85, if they don't get upgraded, they are worth a no. If they do get the full max upgrade, potentially only one of them can get full, but if you do put that scenario for both of them, they could be fodder. They definitely could be, whereas I think Lozano and Lodi, they could make it into a team, especially depending on who you've got in your right wing and also your left back role. FC24 is here, and Sky Coach has all your needs covered. From squad battles, champs, qualifications, and even now draft boosting, there is a long list of services they do give, as well as coaching, and also the big one everybody wants in FC24 coins. The service is fast and reliable, and you will get your coins, your boosting services, or obviously coaching in a matter of hours. If you do want to get any of these, make sure you head over to skycoach.gg, go onto the website, and when you go to checkout, make sure that you are using the code JT11 at checkout for your 5% off your orders. And if you'd prefer to do this on mobile, check out the screen right now with the QR code for their mobile app. We then have the icons that are available. So we have got Blanc, Beckham, Pirlo, Stoichkov, Vidic, Schmeichel, Dalglish, and Ballack. They are all crazy. And I must admit, There is a few that I would say are definitely worth a look at, some that I think you could miss out on. So if we go from the bottom right now, Beckham currently coming in at 731. At this point, I don't think he's really worth looking at. In terms of myself, I don't think he really enhances a team massively, especially when we have got the cards that we have got out right now. There's just so many that are way cheaper than that. Plus, we do have a base icon upgrade. So this is where it becomes a little bit dependent on your team. It depends on your opinion on the player. Do you like Beckham just as a standpoint? Like, is that all you want in your team? You want a Beckham? Because I can't argue with that. If you really like Ribery and his SBC comes out and say it's the worst SBC, it's 5 million coins, but you want Ribery, it could be worth it for you. It could be. Ribery's probably a bad example. 5-star French left mid, but we move. Blanc, on the other hand, incredible value. 488,000. I think he's a phenomenal centre-back. He's an easy, like, team of the year centre-back going into it. If you've got a Virgil, if you've got a company from a hero player pick, if you've looked at any of the icon Maldinis, Campbells, Cannavaros, there's loads that you can link, and I think Blanc definitely puts himself in a place with it. The only thing with these bases is the fact that there is only one version of them. So if you do open up the base icon 3 times, there is a chance you could get a Schmeichel, a Stoichkov, a Beckham, or a Blanc. When it comes to Vidic, Pirlo, Dalglish, and Ballack, they are not in it. They are a different entity of a card, so you kind of are on a winning streak there. But when it comes to Blanc, I feel like it's worth the gamble. There's like 105 icons. There's a small chance. There's definitely a bigger chance, but there's definitely a small chance that you get the same one icon that you've got already in an SBC, but that can happen, so it is what it is. They have got 11 days between them, so Beckham and Blanc go in 11 days. We then have Stoichkov, who now is very expensive, and if you do kind of partner him with a Dalglish who's 2 mil, it depends on how far you are along through him. He's still got 28 days left, so he could be worth a grind. I would say he's more worth looking at more than anything. I do think he's a nice icon, but I do like when Stoichkov does get his upgrade, as that's normally kind of the next better level for him. We have got Pirlo coming in at 577. Again, in terms of a centre mid, I would go more worth looking at than anything. And he is very similar to Beckham in terms of the fact he isn't necessarily a full-on cam, but then he isn't necessarily a full-on CDM. So he is more of a passing box-to-box, but he's going to take up that midfielder spot, so you definitely need to have more of a DM with him, and maybe even a cam. He could kind of flex between the two, or if you've got like 2 DMs, 1 DM, 1 CM, and then Pirlo, that could work in a sort of formation, but he isn't necessarily my favourite player, because really the kind of main aspect of him is just passing. We then have Vidic. I think he came out after. He's got 6 days left, so not very long at all. 491. Again, I'd say if you're looking at Blanc between these two, I'd say they're both on that same sort of level. I think Blanc coming out first means a lot more people got him done, and I do kind of prefer Blanc in some scenarios, especially, well, I don't know what Vidic's Playstyle Plus was, because when it comes to the Anticipate Playstyle Plus, I think Blanc has, what has he got? Vidic has got slide tackle, so that's already the little bit of a negative. Yeah, Blanc does have that Anticipate, same as Varane. I absolutely love that Playstyle Plus. It works for a centre-back so much better for me anyway. Schmeichel, on the other hand, it's such a difficult one. I personally would say no, purely on the fact, not necessarily even just because of him, but 246k is fine, but I do think when it comes to it, he's just not necessarily what I would spend fodder on. If I got him in an SBC, it is what it is. I could put him in net. He's an icon goalkeeper. He's relatively decent. But when it comes to actually putting coins and SBC fodder into him and taking away from an Mbappe, a Blanc, a Vidic, somewhere where I can already get him back in a base icon upgrade, I'm just not willing to do that personally. Dalglish, fantastic option. Seen him a handful of times this weekend. I can imagine he is kind of the downfall of people not thinking they can do an extra 2 mil into Mbappe and have gone for Dalglish instead. I think that's completely right. He is, again, another very, very good striker, hence why he's so much in price. He has got a base version which is currently coming in at 1 million coins, so it is 1 million coins above, which has the chance of being upgraded as well. I'm assuming he's with Liverpool, if anything, so if they do manage to get their victories Enquiries, then obviously he is going to be very good. And they only got a draw this weekend, so they need 3 straight wins for Dalglish to go up to that 91. Then finally, we have got our man Ballack, one of the brand new ones, 88 centre mid, currently coming in at a whopping, if I can see the price anywhere, 470. It's not terrible. In terms of the base version, that's coming in at 114. So, I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but obviously he will have the chance of being upgraded again. I actually don't know who he's with, because he has got a few German teams in there, but I know Chelsea is a big one for him, but I don't know if Chelsea's got anybody else in the team in an icon. So it might be Ballack, which again, I think I don't even know if they won this weekend. Who did they play? I can't remember. That's always brilliant, but I'll keep talking whilst I find out. But in terms of Ballack, he obviously has got the very good box-to-box stats, which is always perfect when it comes to having him in that midfield. He was one of the kind of the meta icons a few years back with the Vieira, the Hullet. It was then a Ballack or a Matthias, and he kind of just didn't really go on to it, to be honest. Oh my, they lost 4-1. Okay, so yeah, they're definitely... Well, they've got Brighton, Man U and Everton. If he is Chelsea, I'm kind of hoping he isn't at this point, because that's going to be a tough run of fixtures. And that Man U fixture, if Man U don't win their next game, that's going to be a very crucial game to get anybody upgraded. I know Cantona is going to be looking at that one, not him himself, but people with Cantona. So I think in terms of Ballack, I'd say worth looking at. I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't think it's necessarily the best in there, but he could be worth looking at. Then we have got some of the end of eras. So we've got obviously the 2 Americans. Again, Rapinoe, I just hate her. I genuinely do. But she has got a very good playstyle plus. But we still stick with it. A firm no. When it comes to the centre-back though, I mean, in terms of pricing, we're looking at a whopping, if we can find them, looking at, oh no, I was going to say 6.8k. There's no way. 43,000 coins. At a minimum for an 88, that's not terrible. But if you are trying to boost out an American women's squad for an objective, it's kind of fodder feeder, but it's in between. Like, she's worth looking at for an objective point of view, but definitely as a fodder feeder, if you can just put untradables in, not terrible by any means. We do still have as well the Forlan, the Santos, and then also is it Hermoso. We still have that SBC out, which is just crazy. It feels like it's been out for so long and it's still got 25 days left. I would say, because all of them are there, obviously worth looking at. I would put them all in because Forlan's there, so it means everybody else is in there. I would say these two are more fodder feeder, if anything, whereas Forlan could be a decent striker. Again, I've seen him a couple of times, but not enough to say that everybody's doing him. When we saw the Backer SBC, that was worth doing by a landslide, because once you kind of got a left back like that, everybody's got it. I played like 5 teams in champs yesterday, and every single team had that left back combination. Then we also have a Flash SBC, which is like the St. Max and also Oscar. They are there for 24 hours, and like the SBC, the Lozano, that's got 5 hours, Mangala has the exact same as well, which I believe, if I go into players, we should be able to find him. He is 86 rated. Or does Mangala? Yeah, Mangala's got 5 hours left, 8.5k. It's extra fodder, most definitely. Is it Liga? I want to say, is it Portuguese League, I want to say? He is. He's just extra fodder. Then we also have the 2 new players from De Jong and also Depay in the Thunderstruck. De Jong unfortunately now has to win the final 3 matches, as obviously Barcelona drew. I want to say Atletico won their first match, so I think Depay is due an upgrade. I think both of these are very, very nice, and obviously the promo card itself looks phenomenal. They absolutely got it spot on. I really wish I could get the animations to show you here as well, but the animations are outstanding. When it comes to pricing of them, both of them are around about 300,000 coins. I would say that they're pretty much in this category if they do get the upgrade. If I was kind of going for who I'd prefer, which is such a tricky one because both of them offer so much. When it comes to Depay, he's got the power shot, which is always nice. Would like a finesse, but I'm not too picky there. When it comes to De Jong, he's 88 rated with the potential to go up to 90 rated. I want to say it's a +2. He has got Travella. I mean, it's not a bad one for a centre mid, but would I say they're must complete? That's going to be the big one. I'd say worth looking at, because if I was going must complete, I don't feel like they are that inclined. They are must complete if they do get upgraded, but if they were to stay at 88, 87, which at the minute is where they're at, I would say they're definitely worth looking at. Ledley King, again, I don't even know of this card anymore, to be honest. I feel like he was definitely a nice card going in, but right now I'm kind of just not feeling him. And to be honest, I think his SBC has actually gone. So I didn't see him go. So unfortunately, he is a just no anyway because he's gone. But we do have the player of the months. These are really easy as well. We've obviously got fodder feeders, if anything. Even Martinez, to be honest. How much is he coming in at? I don't think he's loads. He's 100,000 coins for an 89 rated card. If you are trying to grind out somebody, I'd say they're not just no. He is just more of a fodder of anything. I would say Salah is in that category of a must complete. He's currently at 844,000. He's one that I really want to get done, but I am so drained after doing Mbappe. I kind of just want to do some base icons. But there is still 12 days left of him. We could see what another promo brings and kind of see where we can go with it. And then also Bellingham has got 6 days left. I would say he's worth looking at more so than anything. I think if we didn't have all these crazy SBCs out, there could be more of a priority for him. But right now, I'm kind of thinking we kind of just keep rolling with it. I don't know who this... Was it the Serie A player? There was a La Liga player leaked tonight. I can't remember who it was, but he is meant to be a really good one. So we will see that coming in a few days. But let me know down below who you've finished. Are you grinding for Mbappe? Or have you got Dalglish, Salah done? Any of the worth looking at? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.